Okay kids, welcome back to the shop. Today I'm going to explain to you how an electrical panel works. Before we get started, don't do this on your own. Hire a licensed, qualified electrician. And obviously, this is not hooked up, so we don't have to worry about getting zooted. So first off, the way this works is the power comes from the meter, comes down through the panel. There's going to be 4 wires in this situation. This red is going to be hot. That's going to be 120. Black's going to be over here. That's going to be 120. Green is ground, or it might be bare. White is going to be in neutral. Okay, so we have the neutral, 120, 120, ground, and in this case, this is going into a 200 amp breaker. So this is considered a 200 amp panel because of that breaker. All right. Some of you guys might have a 150 amp breaker here, or possibly 100 amp. Once the power comes in and it goes through the breaker, and this is like a normal breaker. You turn it off or on, okay, just a big one. And so this is one of the bus bars here, one leg, so 120 bus bar, 120 bus bar, okay. And you see how they kind of zigzag in here. So there's a lug here, so there's power here. This one's power this side, this one's power on this side, and it alternates through the panel, okay? So here's a breaker. This is a Siemens panel, so that's the other thing is you have to use the approved breakers for the panel that you have. So this is a Siemens, and you see there's some little clips here, and they go on just like that. So this leg is powering this breaker, right? Then if you put this one on, like, so this leg is powering this breaker. So these 2 breakers, and then this one will be over here, and it alternates down the panel, okay? Now once you're at that point, then you end up taking your power out to your branch circuits, and we're not going to go over that right now. The other thing is, the panel has to be grounded. Depending on your area, it actually has to be grounded to the water line, and you'll have to pound grounding rods into the ground and ground it that way. I believe at Lawrence in the city, I think it was 2 ground rods we needed, I believe. You'll have to follow your local electrical code. Now the way 220 works, now remember these are just 120, so or 240, so the way 240 is going to work is you have to combine both legs, right? Because remember this is 120, 120, and I'm going to show you over at my sub panel, but you will buy a breaker. It's actually 2 breakers tied together, and it'll be for the amperage that you need. And when they clip in, they will clip in side by side like this here. Now remember, they're going to be tied together, and then you would have 220, and that's how you get 220 out of this panel. Now let's go over to the sub panel. I'll show you a 220 breaker. Okay, so we're over at my sub panel here. Now this is all hot. And as you see, one little difference, I'm not going to explain how the sub panel works right now, but one difference is it doesn't have a main breaker. This is actually going out to the main breaker box. Now if you look here, it still has the zigzag, right? And it still has the power coming in. And here's my regular breakers, my 20 amp breakers. Now look here, see how these are tied together? So this is a 30 amp 240 breaker. This 30 amp is going over to my 3-phase converter. This 20 amp, that's going to my lathe right here. This 50 amp, that's going to the heater. All right, so that's a quick and dirty on how the 240s work. All right, guys, I hope you got something out of this video. Remember, don't try this on your own. This is one process I've never done because I didn't want to do it, is hook up a main panel. I always got someone else to do my tie-ins that way. The reason I'm explaining this to you is I discovered a small annoying problem with the wiring in the underground. I don't want to call it a mistake, but I thought I wired it a certain way and I didn't. And when I was trying to do some expansion here, I realized that my wiring wasn't done the way I thought that I actually did it. And when we go into the next video, I'll explain that to you. So that's why I just wanted to explain to you how the panel works, you know, how it comes down. You know, each leg is powering, you know, every other. So, all right, guys, let me know what you think. Leave a comment, questions. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.